My name is Sandrah and I am from Uganda. I was born into a family that was half Muslim and half Christian. My maternal grandfather was a big person in the Muslim community in Uganda. And my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, was a church worship leader. So I grew up experiencing both Muslim and Christian religions. But then when I joined the African Children's Choir, I was further introduced to Jesus Christ. And we had daily devotions, we had Bible study, we learned more and more about who Jesus was. And I just became more deeply involved with Christianity than Islam. I returned home to discover the same thing had happened while I was away. More of my family was more into Christianity than Islam. So I continued to go to church. I used to go with my grandmother to overnight prayers and different fellowships, and we would go to different towns on her missions because she was so involved. So I think growing up, Christianity was more of my grandmother's religion that I knew. And because I loved my grandmother, I loved Jesus. So I continued to do that for a while, all throughout primary school. But I remember when I was in high school, in 2012, I lost my father. And I really went off the right path. My life just went like this. So I did a lot of things I was not proud of. And I reached a point whereby everything that I thought I was seeking for in those things, I couldn't find. So I remember my grandmother came to me, such a wise woman. She came to me and she was like, just because I have not said anything does not mean that I haven't been seeing the decisions you're making. But just take your time. That is what she told me, take your time. I want you to discover who Jesus is according to you, not who you think he should be because of the life you see me live. So I remember I was like, this woman has given her life to this faith for over 30 years, yeah? And when you looked at her life from the outside, it wasn't filled with luxury and privilege, but there must have been something there that she couldn't find anywhere else. So I was like, you know what? Let us take the time. Sandrah, take the time and get to know Jesus for yourself. So I was actually going to church all this while, but not fully there, sitting in a sermon, but you're not fully there. So I made it intentional to show up for service, to show up for fellowship, and be fully present, because I wanted to encounter Jesus Christ. So I started to do that, and I clearly remember it was Sunday evening. I was at home in my room, and I hadn't opened my Bible for like months. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, people say all the time that, oh, Jesus spoke to me and the Holy Spirit reached out to me in this way, and I was like, that would be so nice if that happened to me. So I sit down and I open my Bible, and I ended up in John 14:27. That speaks about peace. My peace I leave with you. The peace I give is not what the world gives. Do not let your heart be worried, do not be afraid. And up to this day, that verse has guided me throughout my entire life. Because in that moment, I experienced a feeling of peace that I hadn't formed after my father died. That was the first time I actually felt peace. So I just continued step by step. It wasn't a miraculous transformation overnight. You wake up and you're a brand new person. But it has been little steps with Jesus. Him showing up along the way, showing up for me in times I could never have imagined, showing up in ways I could never, like this too much, showing up in ways I could never have imagined. And step by step, every day I learn something new about who Jesus is, and every day I learn more and more about why this is what I'm committed to, that I will serve the Lord for the rest of my life. That is my story.